Satnam and welcome back to the channel. My name is Jai Gobind and this is your channel for grace. Thank you guys so much for being here live, and thank you to those of you that are watching the replay. Today we're going to talk about the new moon in Libra that is essentially happening tomorrow, October 21st. So if you are here watching live, please let me know if the sound is good and if the video is good. So let's check the audio and video real quick before we go any further. I did change the settings a little bit, so it should be better in terms of video and sound in alignment and quality. But we'll see how it goes. I also have my mic a little bit closer to me. Hello, Linda. Welcome in. And I'm using a different mic, so definitely let me know how it sounds and looks to you guys. So we have, Linda says both good. Okay, awesome. Thank you. That feels so amazing that it worked. Hopefully it stays that way the whole time. But so essentially what we're here to talk about, like I mentioned, is this new moon in Libra. And before we dive in, I just want to say, thank you for being a part of this channel. Thank you for being a part of this community. I am in Argentina and visiting my dad, and I've been just having a blast and honestly just relaxing and enjoying myself. And I've slowed down quite a bit, and it's been really, really good and really, really healthy for me. I'm also getting ready to travel to Peru. I'm going to Peru on October 26th. So next Sunday, I'm going to be with Robert Grant and the crew, and we're going to be exploring the magic of the Sacred Valley in Peru. I can't wait to share my experience with you guys for that. And I'm also so thankful while I'm here in Argentina that I am able to live stream and bring you this information. There is going to be a full moon in Taurus that is going to be happening while I'm in Argentina. While I'm in Peru. So no guarantees that I'll be able to do a broadcast for that, but this is definitely something that I wanted, this information about this new moon I wanted to bring out. We're getting close to the end of Libra season, and that's powerful in itself because I can't believe how fast that went. This moon is happening at 28 degrees. That means it's just one day left after the new moon, and then boom, we're in Scorpio. What happened to Libra season? My brain just can't right now. I'm like, whoa, just getting this realization, this hit, like, what just happened? So it went by really fast, but it's also been it's been very different than Virgo season. We met in the Starseed membership and we talked about, we did the group check-in and we talked about how the energy has felt. And there was definitely a little bit of chaos in Virgo season, and now Libra season. There is something about it that is helping us find more balance in a way. And that is the focus of Libra season. So when we arrive at this new moon in Libra, essentially it's balance and harmony. That is the overarching theme of Libra. So it is definitely happening, I think, slowly but surely. And I myself, I'm very grateful, like I said, to be here and to be able to just relax and enjoy. And I was just listening to the birds outside, and I'm getting used to the sounds of the different sounds that go through the day here in Los Hornillos. And it's magical, you guys. It's freaking magical. So without further ado, again, thank you for being a part of the channel. Please check out all the links below. I should mention that I didn't last time, but about Aligned by Design, which is the most recent program that I have released. It's a 10 session, basically a pack of 10 sessions, essentially, that you're paying for. If you sign up in October, you're going to get an extra one, an 11th session. And it's a progression of sessions that start with us getting to know you, that continue with us looking at all of your charts, all of your astrology, Gene Keys, human design. And then it goes into this series of steps that one leads into the next, of diving deeper and deeper into the transmutation of the shadows that are holding you back from, living your purpose, that are holding you back from finding your dharma in your relationships, healing your core wound, that are holding you back from activating prosperity for you. And we have created this beautiful exploration of that space. My friend Ashley and I designed the whole program. There is a mini course that we did that was called Sacred Coordinates, the Map. It was a 4-week mini course where we talked about essentially the overarching theme of what Aligned by Design is. And these themes are, the theme of what is your soul's blueprint, and why do you need to know your soul's blueprint? What does it even mean to know your soul's blueprint? Another one is how to begin to integrate the teachings of the charts and the systems, and then how to step into devotion, because devotion is the key, which means stepping into your heart to really fully stay on the path. It's not easy to be on the path of healing, and to be able to stay on it, you need devotion. And what does that mean? And where does that come from? And then why we decided to put this after this in this order, these different types of sessions that include literally like past life regression, astrology, Jinkies human design, soul retrievals, Reiki sessions, and more, that all are geared to help you step in alignment, to know what your soul's blueprint is, to integrate the teachings, and to step into devotion. So I wish for you to find your way towards that magic in your life. And I wanted to let you all know that we're offering that now, and it's available and it's ready to go. And October is the month where we're doing the deal. So you get one extra class if you sign up. There's payment plans available as well. If you select on the when you go to the website via the link in the description of this video, and you scroll down to the payment options, if you select pay in full, there's 2 different options. It's called Klarna, and the other one is called Affirm, and you can get payment plans through them as well. And that signing up in October, whether you do the payment plan or whether you pay in full, will get you one extra session. So at the end, we're going to add on one more of all that. You're going to get like a menu of all the different things that we did. Which one was the most, useful? Which one do you want to repeat one more time? And you'll get to choose that and add that extra session. So thank you for letting me share that. And now I would love to, excuse me, do a screen share. And one second. Oh, I see what's going on here. And begin to talk about this new moon. So here we are. Let me know if you can see this on the screen. So the first thing that we want to talk about in terms of this new moon is basically like, what are the major themes of the new moon? Well, first of all, this new moon is happening at 28 degrees 21 22 minutes of Libra. The stargates that it's activating is the Pleiades. It's awakening through the high heart chakra, which is actually one of the most beautiful chakras that we can tune into and awaken. It's in between the heart and the throat. And I always think of this like beautiful like pink glow to this high heart chakra that elevates us to the space of like deep soul frequency and remembrance. And it's like a higher love. It's a higher state of love that is that we're capable of accessing through this high heart chakra. It's also a space of contemplation, of stillness, of pausing, of being in the center. And it really truly is magical. The immune system that we're working with this new moon in Libra is the system of the body that we're working with is the immune system, which means that there's an aspect of defense that is part of this energy. And it comes with Libra, with the Libra vibe. And it's very interesting because the 50th Jinki and the 50th gate are part of the tribal circuitry, the tribal defense circuit. So it's interesting how that is even aligning too. Very like fine-tuned energy. But the immune system is like, do you have protection? Do you have that like shield of protection that if something comes in, like some kind of foreign entity, however that shows up for you, like that you have a strong immune system to defend yourself? This week I literally got sick and I was able to heal myself very quickly because I have been taking care of myself and taking care of my immune system, which is what I highly recommend that you do during Libra season, because it's going to help strengthen that defense system. So then we get to the 50th Jinki, the 50th gate, and the third line. So now we're going to break it down little by little, starting with the actual chart of the astrology chart of this new moon. And you're not going to be able to see my mouse, unfortunately, but I will talk about the image that's on the screen. Hopefully it's clear enough. I had to like really lower like the resolution of everything in order for the sound and the audio to work really well. I'm just going to check it real quick. See my mouse, unfortunately. Oh yeah, this is working great. This is working great. Okay. So but anyways, you can hopefully see it. I'll talk about it and I'll refer to the things that I'm talking about. So if you see on the bottom left of the chart, you're going to see the sun and the moon together. And they're at 28 degrees, 21 minutes of Libra. And you know that it's a new moon because you see those two planets together, the sun and the moon, at the exact same degree and the exact same minute. So we begin to unfold like what does a new moon or a full moon represent by starting with the most foundational layer, and then we add and we add and we add, and we create like a story that like a flower that like opens up and brings us wisdom, and we can put it all together. This is what we do in this broadcast. We put it all together so that we can have a lot to pull from. Everyone will find something that they resonate with. Some things will resonate more than others. Just pay attention to your own intuitive, abilities, and like that, the access of that, how you're receiving the information. But here's the first layer, Libra. So what does Libra represent? Libra is balance and harmony. Libra is a sign that is ruled by the planet Venus. She is the goddess of love and beauty. 28 degrees is very high up on that spectrum of Libra. It's the third decan of Libra, which means that it's strong Libra energy. This is more of like a master Libra energy. There's also a lot of feelings involved with this energy, but at the same time, it's like tuning into how you feel and finding clarity and knowing which way to go. There's some kind of a decision, I think, that needs to be made, and you need to pay attention to your feelings, because your feelings will literally guide you exactly to the decision that you need to make. It's a very decisive energy, which is really good because it has to do with the fact that during Libra, we weigh the odds, we weigh, and a lot of times we have a hard time making up our minds and like stepping into clarity. And this energy is actually here to help us step into clarity. So that's fundamental at a fundamental level. The next thing that we look at is which is the ruling planet, which I mentioned is Venus. And Venus is at 9 degrees of Libra, which is also really positive because she is at home. She rules Libra. She's in dignity here. She's strong. She's going to, channel the energy in a positive way. She's going to help us. She is, she represents what we truly desire and what we truly want in relationships. And so balance and harmony is the strong theme that is happening right now. So now we get to expand a little bit from this foundational understanding of this new moon and add some of the other aspects. And there's quite a bit of stuff that's going on. One of these aspects, I see quite a bit of formations, large formations. Like I see a grand square, I see a grand trine, I see a grand kite, I see a yod. That's unusual. And it just, I feel the interpretation of that is that it's very charged, it's very strong, and it's very clear. There's no room for like, I wonder if it means this, I wonder if it means that. There's none of that. It's very direct. There's a very direct, like, this is, we're giving you direction, says the universe. And I think that's where the clarity is essentially going to be like arriving from, through the lens of feelings and intuition. So let's start with the grand trine. So the grand trine that's going on is we've got Jupiter at 24 degrees of Cancer. We've got Mars and Venus exactly conjunct at 20 degrees, and they themselves are near these Centaurus stargates. And the Centaurus stargates are very shamanic. There's a deeper frequency and it's emotional, right? We're talking about a water grand trine, which means emotion and the activation of emotion and flow and intuition. And then you have Saturn on the other end and kind of the north node there a little bit, but Saturn at 26 degrees of Pisces. So Pisces, Cancer, and Virgo are the three water signs that are activating this grand trine. So what do grand trines do? They enhance the energy of the element. So they are enhancing intuition. Perfect. Just what we need to help us tune into the vibration of clarity through the lens of our emotions. You also have the formation almost of a bit of a grand kite that would be pointing at Pluto. It's a little not exact, but it's kind of there. And so the point where the grand kite is pointing is a focus point. Pluto in Aquarius. Death, change, and transformation, renovation, innovation, individuality, trusting yourself, trusting your instincts, knowing that you are on the right path, even if you're treading new ground. Then the next aspect we want to talk about is the grand cross or the grand square. Now that's the challenging aspect, but it's a push that says you're not going to get like the feeling that I'm getting, because I always start getting all these, like, I start kind of like getting visions and visuals. And the visual that I'm getting is like, we're going through the ringer in a way. And this grand square is starting to churn. There's a churning and there's a pushing and there's a tightening and there's a constricting and there's a pressure that's getting ready to like launch us forward. And so you're going to feel tension and you're going to feel some kind of push like from behind, like, oh my God, I have to go through this hole. The hole seems like it's smaller than I can fit, but you're going to fit and you're going to get through because you're going to make a decision that's very important for you. That's the key. You need to decide. And so you have the moon, the new moon squaring Jupiter, Jupiter squaring Chiron, Chiron squaring, not exact, but Pluto, and then Pluto squaring the new moon. So square, 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 grand square, tension, stress, a little bit of chaos, a little bit of intensity. This also is activating Sun-Jupiter vibes, and Sun-Jupiter vibes are actually positive. It's about prosperity. It's abundance is available here. But we need to be really smart about how we're going to access that abundance. It's not going to come easy. It's one of those things where you got to really work for it, but it's available. And then one of the biggest aspects too is this opposition to Chiron from the moon. So new moon opposes Chiron. Wounds, old wounds show up. And the duality is, who am I in relationship to my relationships? Who am I in relationship? Do I know myself enough? Have I healed myself enough to fully show up in relationship? And so old wounds come up, healing themes show up, things that need to be cleared and released will come, and you'll have to go through that ringer and find your way towards more harmony and balance. And then the most powerful, I believe, aspect of all of them is the yod. There's a yod that's pointing at the moon, directly at the new moon. And it's from a sextile from Uranus to Neptune at 0 degrees. They're both at 0 degrees, making an exact sextile. Uranus happens to be exactly on Alcyone, which is the Pleiades, and that's an activation of a Pleiadian stargate. The sun and the moon are around that Arcturian activation as well, Arcturian star seeds there, and they are the ones that bring in the sacred geometry, the teachings of how the universe works, and what it's really here, what we can learn from understanding how the universe works. And there's sacred geometry in this chart. The triangle, the square, the yod. I mean, it's like super obvious. So you have this yod, and the yod is called the finger of God. And the finger of God points at the moon. It's always the resolution of the energy. And you've got Chiron somewhere there along, not exactly, but somewhere along that midpoint energy of the resolution as well. So you got to heal, you got to go deep, you got to go into that core wound or core wounds to access the true healing, to open the door. That's how you do it. But then it's also about trusting your feelings and making a decision. Just stepping into it. Like, no more doubt. No doubt is allowed in this space. Your intuition is going to be very, very strong. You need to just go through that hole. Stop resisting. Go through the hole to the other side. You're going to open and you're going to expand in ways that you could have never imagined. Amazing, right? So that is that's the astrology of this. So let me now, I want to continue, and I think that what we can look at now is actually the human design. Let's tap into the human design of this new moon and talk a little bit here. So my dad has an espresso machine, you guys. I don't even drink coffee, but I just made myself an espresso, and then I steamed milk and I poured it into the espresso. Holy shit, I'm in heaven. I'm 100% buying an espresso machine. I don't even drink coffee. I have no idea why I'm drinking this. It's comfort. Literally like comfort food. All right, what do we have here? Let's take a look. This is the chart, the human design chart of this new moon. And if I zoom in a little bit, hopefully this will work. But if I zoom in a little bit, what we're looking for is the 50th gate. That is where the sun and the moon are at on this new moon. So you can see the number 50 right there on the left side. It's on the spleen. So we can start with talking about what is the spleen. Hello, Kate. Welcome in. Jesus, I need one. That's funny. So the spleen is the center of intuition and instinct. It's clarity. So the spleen does bring us clarity. So what kind of clarity is this 50th gate trying to, bring us? What kind of, how are we supposed to trust our intuition in this space? That's the first thing that you should ask yourself. The other thing that's important to look into is, what does the 50th gate actually represent? What's the channel that it connects to? And what is the circuitry that is also aligning with? So you can see right there, it's in the spleen. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, trying to have a nice visual for you guys, but there's that. Okay, so let's talk about more directly about the human design information. So the essence of the 50th gate, it's called the gate of values. Again, it's found in the spleen center. It is tribal defense circuit, and that's going to be very important. The keynote energy is, it's about preservation. It's about order. and it's about the establishment of values. Gate 50 is known as the gate of values, the cauldron, the archetypal keeper of what is right, sacred, and sustaining for the tribe. It's an ancient feminine gate, protective, nurturing, devoted to the moral backbone of community. If we imagine civilization as a living organism, gate 50 is the immune system of consciousness. Is that not insane that I was just talking about the fact that this new moon is the immune system? What? The immune system of consciousness? Discerning what nourishes and what poisons. Ooh, what should be preserved and what must be released. It carries within it a deep instinct for ethical alignment, the natural sense of what maintains balance and what endangers it. When functioning well, it holds the codes of fairness, respect, and care, values that allow love to flourish within the structure of life. When distorted, it can manifest as judgment, moral rigidity, or anxiety around failing one's perceived duties. But when embodied with awareness, it becomes a profound vessel of integrity, the wisdom that knows that true justice arises from compassion and not control. Gate 50 asks us each of us to become guardians of right relationship, not only within society, but within our own energy field. It teaches that balance begins with internal alignment. Is that not true, guys? If your heart, words, and actions vibrate at the same frequency, your life becomes harmonious. If they are out of tune, imbalance manifests as conflict, illness, or corruption. There's a programming partner to this gate, and it's gate 3, which is the gate of ordering, which works with chaos and creation. So together, the 50th and the third form a polarity between the structuring of values and the ordering of beginnings. So gate 3 brings the spark of mutation and change, and gate 50 ensures that change is rooted in wisdom and ethics. So evolution and morality. Gate 3 and gate 50 are always dancing. Innovation without values becomes chaos. Values without growth becomes stagnation. So why is this important for this Libra new moon? So we've talked about the fact that this moon happens at 28 degrees of Libra, which is a sign of divine equilibrium, justice, and harmony. Libra rules the laws of balance and partnership, both in the outer world and within the soul. So if we overlay this 50th gate, the gate of values, integrity, and collective balance, and then basically what you have is this celestial mirror between heaven and earth, because it's Libra's cosmic law of harmony meets gate 50's biological law of right order. So it's like cosmic justice meeting cellular integrity. The invitation of this new moon is not merely to seek peace with others, but to restore balance within the moral fabric of your own being. Like, whoa. Holy shit, dude, that's huge. It's to release any energy that feels out of integrity, relationships that no longer honor your truth, habits that pollute your vitality, or beliefs that weigh upon your spirit. Hey, Lish. The new moon on the 50th gate says, cleanse your cauldron, recalibrate your values, and let your inner law be love. And because this gate lives in the spleen center, it also speaks to our instinct for harmony, for what feels right inside. So during this moon, you're going to feel your intuition is heightened. I feel it. Your body is going to tell you what is aligned. Whoo, that's huge. That is, oh my God, huge. So you have to listen, because the spleen speaks quietly and it never lies. Literally never lies. So how powerful is that? When we look at this chart, some of the things that we can also take into account is, where are the other planets playing in the game? Right? So we've got Sun and Moon on the 50th. We've got the Earth and the programming partner at the opposite end of that on the 3rd. We've got the North Node on the 22nd, which is solar plexus. So this is about emotion and feeling and grace under pressure. The direction is to move towards its grace under pressure. We have South Node in the Ajna, which is about trying to understand things, trying to make sense of things. I think it's super interesting that conjunction between Mercury and Mars that is happening at 20 degrees of Scorpio is happening on the 43rd gate, which is called the gate of insight, and it's about having a breakthrough. It's part of the channel of structuring. So it's like restructuring the world, but you have to first have these insights that lead to breakthroughs to channel that energy. And like, I just think that is so powerful that those two planets, Mercury, the mind, Mars, drive and motivation, are right there. The breakthrough will arrive. You'll get the insight and you'll know what to do. Venus is on the 18th. Now, this is interesting because this is the gate of correction, but this is good because that's what she's helping us do. We're working on what has been spoiled. It's the vigilance and determination to uphold and defend basic and fundamental human rights. She's helping us make corrections to things that are no longer working and no longer in alignment. And so things need to shift. She's showing us where that needs to happen. Jupiter is on the 62nd gate, the gate of details, focusing. There's a lot of little things happening. Jupiter's helping us like decipher that information, like sift through that information. Saturn on the 36th gate. This is the gate of crisis, the darkening of the light. There is intensity and it's emotional, but it's an adventure. And you should welcome the adventure that is awakening for you. Uranus on the 20th gate. Be present, be present, be present. That's Alcyon. That's the Pleiades. That's like pure light codes. And they're all about joy and bliss. Staying present is the key. Neptune on the 25th. The gate of the spirit of the self and innocence. Inviting us to learn, to trust ourselves, to go back to the beginning where things were as seen through the eyes of a child. And Pluto on the 60th. And we should actually talk about this channel a little bit because it's going to be a big part. It's a big part in the human design lens of this moon. The 60th gate is called the gate of acceptance, but it's also about limitation. So essentially, the two, centers that are defined here are the sacral and the root. And this channel here, which is actually called the channel of mutation, the design of energy which initiates and fluctuates, it's a pulsing energy, part of the knowing individual circuit, is about basically this impulse for quantum leaps. Except, so we know that the Earth is here on the 3rd and Pluto is here on the 60th, right? So you learn that the best way for change and quantum leaps to happen is for you to surrender to the right timing. Everything has its boundaries and everything has its limits. And if you understand the rules of the game, you win the game. Or you have the opportunity to win the game, right? If you don't know how to play chess, you can't. You're not ever going to win the game. You need to know how to play chess. Ooh, I like that analogy. Right? So the universe is constantly ordering and reordering itself, and it seems chaotic because this is the energy of like chaos. It seems chaotic, but in reality, it's actually in like such beautiful alignment. If you just pull back your perspective and see things from way back here, you'll be like, oh, it's a perfect tapestry of magic. You know, when you think from your little tiny eye, you know, your little tiny detail, focusing on the details, that you can see it all. It's like, nope, there's a bigger plan. Things are ordering themselves, but there's limits. And this also means that out of fucking nowhere, some big old shit can happen and change. Huge change all of a sudden. Just boom, it's here. And then you have to go with the flow, roll with the punches. This is a format channel, which in human design refers to an energy that is so strong it overpowers like all the other channels on the chart. So the thing that's holding it down for us, it's sacral energy, it's life force energy, but it's the one energy that you literally cannot predict. You don't know when the door is gonna open and that quantum leap is gonna happen. Just know the rules of the game. Know that there's limits. Know that there's a structure that you're playing within. And then it's going to be easier when that door opens to like let it happen. But this means that there is a little bit of chaos. This means that there's some instability. This means that there could be total silence, nothing happening. This means that at any moment, some big thing can happen. All right? So it's kind of cool, like how we learn to weave it all together, you know? And so that's the magic. And if we jump over to the Jinkies and we begin to talk about this lens, the picture keeps becoming more and more clear. In the Gene Keys, the 50th Gene Keys, the Shadow of Corruption, Gift of Equilibrium, and City of Harmony, Richard Rudd says everything that happens to us is for our higher benefit. We're here to learn to live with equanimity. Even shock has the capacity to lift us with grace to another level of consciousness. As our equilibrium becomes truly stable, we become unshakable. We become truly peaceful. Our life opens up to a higher reality and harmony that lies hidden from view. A harmony that lies hidden from view, but that's communicated continuously to us from every cell within our DNA. As this harmony expands inside us, we begin to function through our higher bodies. Dude, I wanted to mention something that I forgot about this human design thing, and it was the tribal circuitry that the 50th gate is a part of. I wanted to share a little bit more about that before we dive into the Gene Keys. So the tribal circuit teaches that love is practical. It is the field where spirit meets the material, where our devotion becomes tangible through acts of care, loyalty, and commitment. That's what this moon is inviting us into. When this circuitry is awakened, which this new moon is doing in its higher expression, it births a culture of trust, where resources, power, and love circulate in integrity. When shadowed, it collapses into power struggles, dependency, or control. So the healing comes through conscious agreements, emotional honesty, and balanced exchange. Love is not a feeling we fall into, it is a promise we live by. The tribal circuit is where spirituality becomes service. It reminds us that to love humanity, we must first love the humans in front of us, with boundaries, with presence, and with generosity. When you live through this circuitry with awareness, every act of care becomes a ritual, and every exchange becomes sacred reciprocity. To serve the tribe with love is to serve the divine in form. That is the power of this gate and this energy that this new moon is happening in. It's tribal, you guys, which means family, tribe. Those are important themes that are probably showing up in your life right now. And if we look at the actual channel from the 50 to the 27, which is called the channel of preservation. If you have the 27, then this new moon is completing that channel of preservation for you. If you have the whole channel, this new moon is enhancing or highlighting the energy, but it's about responsibility and values. It's about nurturing and caring for others responsibly. It's the parental channel. It's like the impulse to feed, to protect, and sustain those that we love. It carries the energy of ethics, care, and the transmission of values. When shadowed, it can overgive or martyr itself. So watch out. Where are you overgiving or martyring yourself? But in alignment, it nurtures from wisdom. So what to take away is that care must be done with consciousness right now. You must care for yourself and for others with consciousness. And to know and remember that true service, it empowers. It doesn't deplete you, it empowers you. So one really nice affirmation for the energy through the human design lens is, I nourish life with integrity and balance. I nourish life with integrity and balance. So taking that and then coming back into the gene keys, we're going from corruption to equilibrium to harmony. So that's the kind of care that we're trying to achieve. Nurturing and care that leads out of corruption into equilibrium and eventually harmony. Richard Rudd calls it cosmic order. Isn't that beautiful? Cosmic order. And it's the codon ring of Illuminati. So let's read about the codon ring of Illuminati. The ring of Illuminati is uniquely coded with the harmonic geometries of higher evolutions. As this codon awakens through the human genome, the higher subtle bodies of humankind will self-organize into potent and coherent formations of awakening beings. This higher social harmony will progressively reveal itself as human beings move beyond the domain of shadow consciousness and realize the harmonic blueprint that underlies all human civilization. Humanity has always sensed the presence of the Illuminati, or the chosen ones. We have woven them into our legends, our dreams, and even our conspiracy theories. Commonly misunderstood, the Illuminati refers to a higher evolution of celestial beings or ascended masters who are not separate from us, but are our higher nature personified. We now live in the time of the gathering of the Illuminati, a time of unprecedented planetary change where its field of harmony draws us in and gradually transforms our cellular DNA into its highest mode of functioning. There's only two gene keys here, the 44 and the 50, and they're both tribal. Interesting. I love how, the Pleiadians are very active right now because of Uranus, and they are pure light codes. So I feel like they are part of this Illuminati, right? The light from within, the light from within, shining through. Let it shine through. Guru Guru Wahe Guru Guru Damdas Guru. I don't know why that came through, but that came through too. From darkness to light. Wow. So all of that is pretty magical. And let me go back here. I don't actually have the Gene Keys book to read the city of the Gene Key, but I do want to read something that was that I came up with chat to leave us with a beautiful message. There's two things I want to share. This message and also the message from the Seasons and Stargates book, which I wrote, and end with that. Okay, let me know how the video is doing and the audio is doing. If anything is acting up, let me know. Hello, Jennifer. Welcome in. Okay. The 50th Jinki, the city of harmony. There comes a moment in every soul's journey when the outer world can no longer be blamed. When the noise of corruption in systems, relationships, and even our own thoughts dissolves into silence. In that silence, we remember nothing is truly broken. Every imbalance is simply an invitation to return to center. Harmony is not the absence of conflict, but the music that holds even dissonance within its design. The cosmos hums with opposites day and night, inhale and exhale, creation and release. And through them all runs one unbroken thread of order. The 50th Jinki reveals this hidden architecture of peace. It whispers that justice is not punishment, but balance restored by love. It reminds us that no law of man on or earth can exceed the grace of divine equilibrium. When harmony awakens in us, we stop trying to fix life and begin to listen to it. We stop forcing, start attuning. We feel the breath of creation moving through all things, organizing, cleansing, and harmonizing on its own. At this level of consciousness, the heart becomes a tuning fork for the universe. We vibrate with such precision that the chaos around us begins to align itself. Others feel calmer in our presence. Even nature responds. Birds sing closer. The wind softens. Time stretches. Harmony is not achieved. It is remembered. It was always here, behind the noise, beneath the striving, within the stillness. The task of this new moon is simple. Lay down your weapons of correction and control. Let the scales balance themselves. For when we rest in perfect awareness, the universe plays its true music through us. And the world, once discordant, begins again to sing. Ah, it's beautiful. So beautiful. And the message that I wrote from this new moon energy. The moon catches up with the sun just 2 degrees away from where Mercury was at the full moon. Now in the second divine yacht alignment, the moon can see more clearly what she was being initiated to 2 weeks earlier. Now it is Venus, the ruler of this moon, that finds herself not making any aspects to any major planets. This is the rarest alignment of new and full moons I have ever seen in a given astrological season. One of the deepest lessons here is that we need to trust ourselves, not anyone else. The universe is cosmically aligning itself, and all we have to do is relax into the alignment. Oh my God, I love this. Corruption is now clearly seen in the world, and to heal this shadow, we must clear those aspects of ourselves that are corrupted. It is the only way to find balance and harmony, to stand in the middle. We have journeyed through a powerful month of learning to stand in our values. If you didn't know where you stood before, now you do. What once seemed chaotic now starts to make sense. Where once we felt defensive, we now feel relaxed. And where we didn't trust our intuition, now we know not to dismiss it. Mysteries are now being revealed. Evolution is making its way through our collective genetic structure. The ascended masters have this under control. And that is why we need to recognize ourselves as instruments of the divine order. Only through this realization can we truly relax into our collective existence and find the harmony we have always wanted. Whoa. Sat Nam. And that is the magic of this new moon. And I can tell you that I'm feeling all of this, all of it. There's a softening. I'm glad I'm on that softening side of the energy, but definitely clearing the corruption, resetting, reordering things, details, little things. But fine tuning our ability to know is huge right now. That spleen center, listening to our emotions, tapping into emotional intelligence, and finding the clarity so that we can literally decide where we're going to go next. So thank you guys for being here and hanging out on this broadcast. Share this video out, you guys, on social media. It's always what gets more people into the community. Join us in our global community, our private space. Check out Aligned by Design. Check out the October deal. And trust in the magic. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow for the Akashic reading. I might lead a meditation. I am not sure. I definitely can't sing or do the music part because I don't have the right audio equipment for that. And I had a really bad sore throat right up until yesterday. It's not going to happen. I need to rest my voice. But I'll be here to do the Akashic reading and to see what intuitive messages come through. And we'll see how that unfolds. So again, thank you so much, you guys. I love you so much. I love this community so much. I'm, again, so grateful that I can be here, even all the way from Argentina. And I thank you all for showing up and for supporting this channel. See you guys tomorrow and have an awesome new moon. Sat Nam.